Coming to paperback and e-readers, Esteem Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed all-new Esteem series adventure. Pre-order your copy of Esteem Season of the Witch Girl at Amazon.com and other online booksellers. Before I get into this review of Bridges, I wanted to give everyone an update on the SJS Direct 2025 catalog. Now, the SJS Direct 2025 catalog kicked off on March 21st with John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side, and you can get that book in paperback or digital format on Amazon.com and other online booksellers. And the second book of the SJS Direct 2025 catalog, Esteem Season of the Witch Girl, is going to be available on April 25th, and you can pre-order your copy on Kindle right now or pick up a copy in paperback on April 25th. And the third book in the SJS Direct 2025 catalog, I'm getting ready to wrap it up right now. I got the final piece of art from Darth Sarge, and the art is going to be absolutely fantastic in this light novel, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer, which gives you a sort of story about Matilda going into the world of goth modeling in the new millennium in the year 2000, and also gives you some really cool pictures of life at that time. And I'm hoping to have that book out in May. I'm getting ready to do the voiceover for the ad, so I'll be getting you guys a date soon on Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer, but all the editing is just about done, and the art is here, so all I gotta do is put this book together, and it'll be ready for being posted up to all of the sites for pre-order. Now, as I'm working on books throughout the year, I'm always looking for great independent comics to go out here and review, and one of my favorite comic creators is Greg Burnham. I picked up a lot of Greg's books, like The Search for Sadiqa. I mean, that's an absolutely fantastic manga-style story that's set in the days of Jim Crow, and it's an absolutely fantastic story, and I really enjoyed that book. And since I enjoyed that book and another book I think he did called this Something of Solace, again, really great comic. So when I heard about Bridges, I really wanted to go out here and drop a pledge on that Kickstarter. And after dropping a pledge on that Kickstarter and reading Bridges, I found this book to be absolutely fun and a great book for younger readers. I mean, the Team Bridges basically reminds me a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets Monster High, and these two concepts come together as these heroes are out here looking to defend the Bay from all sorts of threats and menaces. Now, Team Bridges, they really have a cool look, and I love their designs here. Really, the colors really pop on their costumes, which look more like tactical military armor, but that's all into the theme of these characters, who are the daughters of 4 young black men who wound up getting sick from an unknown illness and then cured with a serum. And as those men were cured with that serum when they were boys, they eventually wound up having 4 daughters, and those daughters of those men who were cured by that serum got superpowers and eventually became Team Bridges. Now, this comic was one that I really liked because the art, again, here is absolutely fantastic. The art here really reminds me of animation, similar to what I would see in the old Kids WB show Static Shock. So this comic has a lot of things going for it as related to the premise and the design. The premise and the design are absolutely fantastic in that we've got 4 strong sisters going out here looking to protect the Bay Area, which really, again, I really liked about this story. This book story, again, not taking place in New York like every other comic, but taking us into Oakland on the other side of the bridge, because the bridge basically connects Oakland and San Francisco together. That's what a lot of people don't know about the West Coast. That's why they call it the Bay Area, and they say it's that the bridges bring them together. So this was an interesting one. We got to see, again, these heroes on the West Coast protecting a specific area and doing it in their own way. Now, I'm going to go to the front. I'm going to go to the back and introduce you to the Team Bridges. You have Kayla, the leader. You have May, the brains. You have Jada, the ninja. And you have Bailey, the muscle. And again, reminds me a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, in that Kayla reminds me of Leonardo, May reminds me of Donatello, Jada reminds me of Raphael, and Bailey reminds me of Michelangelo. So that was one of the cool things about Bridges. Now, this is in the back of the book. Again, we get to know the characters and who they are. The only nitpick I have is that this should have been in the front of the book, but the whole thing is they couldn't put it in the front of the book due to the page layouts, and I understand why they did that, because these page layout for Team Bridges, again, starts out with a double page spread of the bridge. And this bridge is essential because what Greg and the team of writers, Greg Burnham, Jamie Recall, and Leo Stevens, are trying to do with this double page spread of the bridge is show you a character, and that character is the city of Oakland, California, and the bridge between Oakland and San Francisco. So he's basically making the city into a character, and as they make the city into a character, we get to know that it's one of the main characters of the story. And a lot of people really don't use the city as a character. This is something that I try to do in my own writing. I try to use the city as a character. I try to use it and say that, this is New York. This John Haynes is a New York character. Isis lives in New York, and we get to see life in New York and see those distinct locations. That's one of the things I try to incorporate in my stories, whether it be my prose fiction like the Isis series, the Esteem series, or the John Haynes series, or book comics like I did, like John Haynes at Death's Door or Esteem No Good Deed. I want the city to be a character and come to life to let you know what life is like in that location. And as we're seeing this double page spread of this bridge, which gives us the credits for the creative team, again, Jamie Recall does some fantastic art here as related to things. And we get an introduction that, again, gives us a voiceover similar to that of a movie, where we get the team Bridges, again, the girls briefing things about a mission that went wrong, and again, starts to introduce us to these characters and the problems that they had as related to this mission. Now, this mission was supposed to be about them taking on some terrorists who are looking to blow up the bridge, and how things went wrong as related to this mission, and look to brief everyone on things. So we've got everybody on one of these sort of Zoom meetings with the team, and we get introduced to the team with this, again, just Jamie Recall's fantastic art, absolutely fantastic art that really feels like animation. I mean, everything here with this art, really, it just pops. I love the colors. I love the energy here. I mean, just everything just really comes alive with this team. Again, really looks great. And on this one page where we just have them talking to the people who are in charge of the team, and as they're talking to this team, they're trying to explain why everything goes wrong. And again, this does a great job of answering those three critical questions. Who are the main characters? What do they want? And why we should care? And again, we get the main character in the city of Oakland and the team Bridges. We get to what they want, which is to find out what went wrong and why should we care. And what we're going to find out is our reason to care eventually as they go into battle. They're going into battle as related to trying to stop this attack on this bridge. See the team in action in this double page spread once more. Again, good page management. We're 5 pages in and the action is moving. 5 pages in, and we get to see the characters in action. We get to see the muscle working over this big dude. Again, you had a little 15-year-old girl working over a big dude. You got the brains working on the bomb, and you got the ninja in action, and everything is looking like it's, again, working towards the mission. You got the leader, and then you got a guy recording things for social media. Really good use of the page. All the action really is well paced as related to things. Action is very well paced as related to this whole sequence. And eventually what we have is a really good sequence between, the ninja in action, and she's taking on these guys, and eventually a big dude shows up and basically takes her down. And eventually what happens is this really big dude underestimates the little sister with the super strength and basically gets tossed. And after he gets tossed, this is where they take on things. and the mission winds up falling completely apart. And sadly, the leader basically has to make a sacrifice, and that really is the turning point of the story. Now, I don't want to give away too much of Bridges because, again, Greg and the team basically worked really hard on this comic. And again, I just like to, again, when I'm doing reviews, I just like to just let people know what things are like about the story. I don't want to just give away too much of the story because people work hard on these books. And again, these books are a way a lot of these brothers and sisters make their money. So that's why I'm just going to give a little sneak preview. But the whole thing is, Bridges is a very solid first issue. Introduces us to the characters, introduces us in the first 3 to 5 pages, gets us into the action, and has really good plot twists because we go from Act 1, where we see what happened as related to that failed mission, to Act 2 of them looking to continue on as a team, and Act 3, us finding out what happened to Kayla as related to what led to her winding up falling ill as related to the sacrifice that she made. I don't want to give up too much of this story because it's very intriguing, and this first issue of Bridges will make a great connection with readers because it's a great entry point to a great new team, a great entry point to a great new team as related to this team of heroines looking to, again, protect the city. Now, the only nitpicks that I have are that the dialogue is a little stiff in some places, but when you're doing your first story, that just happens because you're getting a feel for characters and you're getting a feel and a sense for their story. It just happens sometimes. I know that because when I was still writing the ISIS series, again, when I first started out, everything was a little bit stiff, but as I started to get to know the characters and started to become a bit more connected to them and their stories, everything started to flow a bit more organically. And now, if you look at the 2002 ISIS versus a more recent book like Amari's Revenge, you'll see a completely different change of things. And if you look at the most recent book, Dark Incubus, you'll see, again, I get a better handle on these characters. Now, my other nitpick for this book is that we didn't get a major villain as related to things, because one of the things that really undermines books with heroines is that they usually don't have a major antagonist, and that really undermines books. That's one of the things I try to avoid with books that I write, like ISIS or Steam, or even books like I'm writing recently with the Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. I always try to make sure there's an antagonist there, because when it comes to heroines, everything is about the relationship between the heroines and the bad guy. That is a core component of the story. Now, Team Bridges basically has a great team, but they really do need that great villain. I mean, I liked watching them take on these terrorists and thugs, but they basically are jobbers as I see it. And, the jobber villains, yeah, they're just there to just get beat up to showcase the heroes. But if you really want a book to take off, it's got to be like Search for Sadiqa, where you have these, interesting villains and really somebody who's really there that can form that relationship. One of the things I try to do with characters in the ISIS series, I try to make sure that the villains are villains that ISIS can have a relationship with, like with Rahima Sanders in The Beauty Myth, and that relationship of jealousy basically led to ISIS having to deal with one of her most popular villains in The Cyber Goddess. And then I had Amari, who ISIS had a relationship with, the former queen of Nubia, who was jealous of ISIS being a goddess. So I try to make sure that there are villains that the characters have a relationship with, and make them a threat that they can be distinct to them. I also did this with Esteem, with characters like Raven Fox, who is the witch girl. Her character basically has a beef with Esteem because she wouldn't teach her magic in the Esteem book, Esteem, The Witches of Eastland, and that's followed up with Season of the Witch Girl. And I have other Esteem villains like Delilah, who basically has a beef with Esteem because her mother admires her and basically has made her life miserable. And then I have the Hyena Woman, who basically wants to be the queen of the urban jungle and feuds with Esteem. Again, when it comes down to female heroines, you really have to have those feuds. Again, those feuds are the thing that's going to really sell that type of character, that and a little bit of cheesecake. But these are kids, so you can't really do the cheesecake factor too much with black teenage girls, but the whole thing is you really do need those relationships. Those relationships are the thing that are going to drive the book, and that's where that's where Greg and the team really need to focus on. Focus on those relationships. I've been writing Heroines for over 20 years, and one thing that I always focus on is those relationships that the heroines have with people, because women are social. Women love relationships. They have interpersonal relationships with each other, and I have to wonder if in the future we'll see if the team Bridges are out here having some guys step to them. I really would like to see some focus on their personal lives, because this team is very interesting, and I really would like to see, again, the girls checking out some guys and, again, having some fun. The team, again, is very tactical and very militarized. Similar to what I would see in old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics. That's why I said it's a mix of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets Monster High with a little bit of X-Men. The whole superpower thing is X-Men, but everything else reminds me of Ninja Turtles and Monster High. Monster High is actually one of my favorite concepts. I just love that whole thing. But the whole thing is that Team Bridges is a solid book, a great connection that will make a great connection with readers, and you'll have a great time with Bridges. And this book was so good that I'm really looking forward to the second issue. And basically, the book ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm really eager to see that next issue. Really looking forward to that next issue and finding out what happens next with this team and what challenges they take on. I'm hoping that eventually they do wind up taking on, again, an actual villain and a major threat, and start to have a relationship with villains, and maybe some relationships with some fellas. I'd like to see more of this team, because this concept is fantastic. The art is really great. The art reminds me of animated series like Static Shock and many other anime series. Just really solid art all around. And Bridges is a book that I would highly recommend you pick up, because once you make a connection with this team of sisters, you'll be basically looking forward to the next issue. Now, my first full comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, is available on Lulu.com in paperback right now, and you can pick up a copy for the same price as it was on the 2022 Kickstarter. And my first digital comic featuring a heroine, Esteem No Good Deed, is available right now on Amazon for just 99 cents, and you can pick up that same comic in the Esteem series book, Esteem Blast from the Past. And if you want to, again, check out my action and adventure featuring heroines like the Goddess Next Door, Isis, or the Aspiring Angel, Esteem, or my Black Goth heroine, Matilda Crowley, also known as Spinsterella, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available on Lulu, John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at Lulu.com today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The Goddess Next Door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.